thank you for having me. Hello everyone. I hope your day is going well wherever in the world you are. And today we're going to be talking about Google Plus brand pages. You'll notice on your slide that it's dated today, February 9th, 2012. And we're coming to you at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if anything is currently being changed today, it will not be reflected in our deck. And I can assure you that as marketers, as we move forward, there will be significant changes to Google Plus for brand pages. But what we'll cover today will be what you can do right now to get your business or brand for either yourself or for your clients up and running as fast as possible on Google Plus. One of the things I would like to mention before we get going is that Google Plus, even though some claim that Facebook has been much more significant in history with engagement, I think that our deck today will show that that has changed, and that as of yesterday, Google Plus is counting over nearly 100 million active users. So let's go ahead and start with Google Plus brand pages. Oops. So the first thing we want to talk about here is you and your business. And particularly if you're a SMB or an SME, Google Plus is the right platform for you. It is not Facebook. I just want to make sure that we all get that. It's also not Pinterest. It's not LinkedIn. It's not Twitter. So the comparisons really shouldn't really be even introduced in the conversations. It is a unique platform. It is not a social network per se. It's more of a sharing experience and community. And that's kind of what we're seeing growing forward with Google. That's kind of what their whole essence of this is. It was never made out to be a competitor directly with Facebook. It's something much more and a richer experience, and here's why we say so. Really, the platform for Google Plus is much deeper than anything that we've been able to experience before. It's been built over the years. There's been some failed attempts with Buzz and Google Wave to accomplish some of these things, but Google didn't give up. They came back and built this platform that is really designed for our businesses. Let's start with the create and share pillar. Here you'll see that the actual interface for us to share media objects is for your pages, Hangouts, which was a last-minute add-on and an experiment, but has turned out to be probably the biggest calling card, is very successful. And also the ability to use circles has really created new ways for us to use and communicate. So the basic platform is one that's going to help you share media objects and start and share real conversations. It's truly a sharing community. The second area, of course, is Google is the first and second largest search engines in the entire planet. So based off of that, it's the ideal platform for us to promote our small business efforts, our book. Maybe we're a photographer, whatever it is. The Google platform gives us a lot of free tools to promote our business, and we're seeing these be very, very effective. Direct Connect, we're going to talk a little bit about that. The social component, it is very social. The Google Plus icon, the +1 button, we'll talk a little bit about those things. And then finally, the third pillar is the measurement. Again, we've talked about search. We've seen Search Plus Your World launch, and despite some of the things that have been said about it, users in general, not technologists, but users, and as marketers, this is what we're mostly interested in, actually like it. The feedback has been very positive. The analytics that are provided along with ripples for public posts are extremely helpful in measuring how we're being effective when we're marketing either our own business or that of one of our clients. Let's talk about getting started with Google+. Or if this is your first time talking about Google+, then this will be helpful. If you're a seasoned vet, some of this will be a little bit basic for you, but we're going to cover it anyway because it is essential that we use the platform the way that Google has designed it. And here is a simple way for us to get started. Number one, when you go into your profile, you're going to be able to see simply over on the left, you'll see that you'll have pages, and there is a Get Started red button. And you can go ahead and click on that button, and here you'll find 4 panes that will help you navigate through setting up your business or brand on Google+. So you'll have a place for you to start posting, very simple, a place for you to connect your website directly. You can get the badge. You can also tell the world, and you can build your circles. And each of these elements will very easily help you to begin building your brand page. Behind building it, I wanted to talk for a moment as marketers. We need to understand that the beautiful strategy behind Google Plus is revolutionizing sharing. We're seeing the platform, which already, of course, video with YouTube, the second largest search engine in the world, with display, with the way that Google is using photographs and sharing of photographs, and they continue to work with not only Picasa and some of their other picture elements, but even our own little photo albums, which to me at first I was like, oh, this is interesting. But we're seeing it now with tagging your face and so many other things that is becoming so robust. We're seeing the websites now integrating in more of the Google Plus and the +1 button and the sharing, and that is starting to really gain significant traction. We come down to the bottom and we see mobile. Mobile is Google realizes that the next revolution of sharing is in your pocket, or your handbag, and that is your mobile device. So the application that we have on our iPhone or our Droid application, either one of them, you're able to see improvements, and Google is looking to expand that more and more. Now with we're able to initiate Hangouts and things like that from your mobile, and again, Google's really just getting started. They're in no hurry. They're building a beautiful platform here for us as marketers, that we have so many options for our own brand or our clients. Of course, search plus your world, we're seeing how significant that is, and we're going to take a couple examples and look at actual brand pages. So for strategy, there's a couple things that we want to realize that it's very simple. We see that blue +1 button, and for whatever reasons, it really isn't much more complicated than this. As your friends click on this button, whether it's on your website, whether it's on your blog, or it shows up in regular search results, you're going to see this button. And as more people share that in Search Plus Your World, you're seeing that more and more search results are showing up in Plus Your World with your friends and what they're recommending. If you've been using that at all, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the Q&A at the end, it's starting to gain real traction among the user community. Much like what is happening with Bing and what they've done with Facebook and Twitter integration, and how people are really, the few of them that are using Bing, are really like that. So for the user, this is critical for us as marketers to embrace the +1 button. Here's a couple things that you should know and you can do right now when it comes to your Google Plus strategy. Number one, if you have a website for your business, make sure that you're using Google Plus integration. This will be recorded, so you'll have access to a couple of very cool badges that you can use for your website. This is one that I like. It's very handy, this URL, and we'll make it available afterwards too for you. But it's critical that you start using Google Plus integration into your web presence and your branded space. This is going to be a key to you drawing an audience to your page. The second thing is make sure that your profile is filled out for business. It's not personal. It's also just not a text dump. Nobody's going to read any of that. Make sure that it's specific and you're using very strong call to actions, and I'm going to show you a couple examples. And the third way is make sure that you don't use Google Plus like you would use Facebook. They're not the same, friends. Remember, see what we call status updates in Facebook or maybe on Twitter. You need to view them as media objects that can have a life here on Google Plus. They're shared, and we're reaching a tremendously much larger audience from some A and B testing that I've been doing, and I'm going to show you a case study here at the end that will show you, as an example, engagement levels compared with Facebook and Google Plus. Let's talk about a couple things that we have to do with our brand page. Three things in particular. One is make sure that your circles are well pruned. Use these circles to create specific audiences that you want to engage with. Some may be repeat customers, some may be new, some may be prospects, and in a personal level, you may have some that are close friends or after hours, whatever it is, and you'll communicate with these circles directly through your stream and posting area, or you can use all of them. But make sure you're using your circles actively, because this is probably by far, as a brand, the most effective way for you to be engaging with specific customers and making specific offers, like for instance, to your VIPs. You can select just that circle and send them an offer. In your About You on your profile, your brand profile, make sure that you have a very clear, simple way for them to engage with you. If you want them to call you, please put your phone number there. If it's an 800 number, if it's a mobile phone, whatever it is, make sure that they can reach you. For instance, if you look at my profile, for example, you'll notice that I try to make it super simple for any company, anywhere, to not only reach me, but I also put content on my About Me that makes it simple and easy for people to learn more about Google Plus. And I have a lot of recommended links on there that you'll find helpful, that will go way beyond the scope of what we're talking about here. Up in the right-hand corner, you'll notice something that is really probably the most engaging thing about Google Plus so far, and that is Hangouts. As a brand, one of the things that I recommend highly is house calls, and that's one way for you to just drop in as a brand or a small business into conversations. Stop in, say hello. You don't have to be there long, but if you see people that are hanging out in your stream, or if you're using some of the tools that we're going to talk about here in a minute that are on the subject that you're interested in, or your company deal, jump in. Just, check your hair and makeup, jump right in there. This is one we did last week from NASCAR's #1 race team, Roush Fenway Racing. We jumped right into a hangout and got to talk with fans, and it was very, very exciting. And your customers will love this, because it's access in a way that, frankly, we don't have in other channels. Here are some of those tools that are going to help you build an audience. And I'm using this example in Arizona because my good friends there at Vertical Response, their headquarters is there, so this is just an example. But if you go to Find People on Plus, maybe you're looking to, how do I build my brand page out? Well, you can go to Find People on Plus, and here you'll find numerous ways by interest, education, the field that people are in, and you'll be able to circle them, add them to circles, engage with them. For example, in the state of Arizona, there are 75,430 people that are registering that as their location. Well, that's significant. If you're an Arizona business, there's 75,000 people there that you should be trying to engage with and start using Google Plus and your brand page to work with them, because they're obviously here to make connections too. A few more you see listed there, and there are tons of Chrome extensions that are fantastic, which is why I've moved off of Firefox, my beloved Firefox, to Chrome, because of the extensions that are making it, using Google Plus, so much more effective. Here's one of them, Canopy, down in your lower left corner. Canopy is a way for you to look at Hangouts that are happening right now, and you can adjust this stream so that it's around interest that you and your brand is interested in, and you can just jump right in. So it kind of mines those Hangouts for you and makes it a little bit easier. And that's just one example of some of these Chrome extensions that are making this, and Google's doing this on purpose, you know that, but it's making it real easy to engage with others. Here's one that I really want you to note, and this is one of my secret weapons. It won't be secret for long, but that's okay. I'm all about sharing, and here's one of the things that I like about, excuse me, about this secret weapon. This is simply a Google Plus shared circle document, and when you click on or enter into your address bar bit.ly/G+weapon, it will pull up this shared document, which isn't password protected or anything. And this is a crowd sharing endeavor. And you'll see here at the top, it tells you the category. And this is one of the things I love about the Google Plus community, is that everyone is trying to help other people. So you'll notice the categories here, and then the circle name where it actually drills down into that particular industry or field, whatever it is. And then it'll show you the size of who's in that circle, how many are in that circle. Now under the circle link, you'll just click on the circle link and it'll say go to that circle. And you can just drag it right into your circle. It's a great way for you to find fascinating people. But if you're in art and design, for example, that's just at the top of the list here. If you're an artist or a designer or a web designer, you can see right at the bottom there, there's specific people that are already sitting and waiting for you to go and mine them and see if you can start relationships with them. So you'll find this very helpful. One note, the newest circles are all the way at the bottom of this long list. So as you use it, you'll find new ones are always being added, but for some odd reason, they're all the way at the bottom. So I think you'll find this pretty helpful. Using Google Plus for advocacy here, so far, through my testing, since the API isn't available yet, here are some things that I have found very helpful. And this is debatable, and that's okay. But for me and the brands that I consult for, these are the things that I'm sharing with them to try to use as their benchmark. One is try sharing things every 4 hours. Remember that we're in different time zones. For example, I'm on the Eastern time zone. So when I'm posting things at 8 o'clock, I realize that if you're out in California, that's it's a little early for you folks. That's 5 a.m. I doubt that most of you are up. So I also look at my clock and I realize that around noon and also around 4 o'clock, that you guys in California are up and around. So I realize that I should be taking that into consideration because I want to reach a national and even global audience. So keep that in mind. If you want to share beyond just, this isn't Facebook where people post and if I see it, great. If I don't, it disappears. We want to remember this is a sharing environment and keep in mind as a brand and as a marketer, different time zones. Also, actively comment, not just post, but comment. As you see things that are interesting, as you see things that may not even be related to your business, but if you appreciate what somebody said, tell them. And also hyperlink it. Say thank you plus Tim Moore, for example. That would create, if Tim Moore saw that, that would create a real serendipity feeling to your stream that you're not just trying to broadcast and use this as another channel to push your product, because believe me, that is the fastest way on Google Plus to be uncircled. Ask questions. Ask people for feedback. You may even know the answer, but people love it when you ask questions. Even simple things like, even from a brand, you could just ask a question, hey, here at Vertical Measures, for example, we have the radio on. What type of music do you guys like to listen to during the workday? Now you may think, well, what in the world does that have to do with my business? It has a lot to do with it. It's creating a human element. It's creating that serendipity feeling that Vertical Measures isn't about just pushing products. They're about helping people, and they're being very real. And please try to do that. Jump into conversations, contribute something of value. Don't just jump in and say thank you or hi or anything like that. Always try to keep the conversation moving. Try to hang out, and remember, as always, test, test, test. See what works best for you. Do A, B, C, D testing, and monitor those results, because no one else is going to do this for you right now until the API comes out in end of March or June, whenever we see it. I don't know, but right now the best thing for us to do is to start testing our own and find out what works for our brands. And I'm going to share a case study that I just finished, and it's pretty telling. Direct Connect. From your Google search box now, this is actually adjusted with Search Plus Your World. You hit plus and your page name, or you can actually just start typing in any brand now, and it's the search results are starting to show those names right away. So for your brand, if you're not on Google Plus, this could start having a negative effect on your search results. How do you do that? Well, here's what YouTube is doing, for example, and many other brands. All you have to do is type in the name, and what you'll see come up in search results is boxes like this. It's going to show your Google Plus brand page. And in your brand page, what you'll see is right from the search result, you can simply add to circles, you can +1, you can comment or share right there from that search result, and just keep going. This is huge, and this is continuing to change, and expect it to continue to mature. But as we see Search Plus Your World growing, this is significant, because Google is by far the largest search engine, and if I type in vertical and Vertical Measures shows up at the top of my list, and here shows up their brand page and what's posted there, and adding to circle, I am much more compelled to circle them or engage with them than I would if it was just plain search results. I love my SEO friends, but we have to embrace that this is where things are migrating to. Again, more from Direct Connect. You'll see that as you start integrating with brand pages, you'll start to see how, when you first see these in search results, you want to auto follow them. You can set that, or you can say no, but a lot of people are saying auto follow, and it's really working well for brand pages that are getting gigantic numbers of circles. How do you do it? Well, Direct Connect is very, very simple. Again, Google has been so helpful in making this super scratch and sniff simple. So you just simply go to your brand page and you click on Get Started, and the second pane will be Connect Your Website. And that's where you will get the badge, and that badge can be embedded website, or you can be using one of the tools earlier that was mentioned that will provide some new ways to integrate the Google Plus into your website. But again, based around the algorithm that Google uses, there is no way for us as marketers to specifically determine how this is going to affect search results right now. I just want to clarify that none of us can say that. So even though some may be writing articles about how you definitely can monitor this and measure this and how that weight is going to specifically and definitely contribute, I have not heard that officially from Google. So until I do, I don't really have any comment on that. Measuring. For us as agencies, or if we're trying to justify using brand pages to our leadership, Ripples for public post is critical. I find this so much more helpful than even Google Analytics for these singular posts that are shared in public. Hopefully you're using Ripples, or you're even through and you're looking at other posts of your competitors, and you're watching and looking at their ripples and seeing how they're affecting people, what terms are hitting and resonating with customers. This is huge, and it's all built right into your Google Plus page. Here's how they kind of look. I think that it's very interesting. When you use Ripples, you're able to see, number one, who shared it, and number two, who their biggest influencers are, and you can track that all the way down. And this will show you, and this is all, again, it's free, it's built into Google Plus on public shares, public post. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see what all the comments are. What are people saying? Well, this is fantastic for mining. You can watch over time who has shared what, and how did they affect it. For instance, you see here under the comment pane over on the right, you'll see that after Monica shared this, it was most of the day the post began to lose some steam until along came Robert Scoble, and he shared it, and all of a sudden there was another big spike. Well, Robert has a pretty significant impact, so that was obviously somebody that we would earmark as a thought leader on our brand, or interested in what we're saying, and we would try to continue to use him. Under that, again, you get more statistics, who's talking about it, in what language, and so forth. So very helpful, and the more you monitor this for your own post and that of your competitors, it's going to help you to make good course corrections. Here are the benefits of Ripples. I do have a disclaimer here. Ripples, according to Google, is still very experimental. How this will increase, how this will not increase, will they do away with this, and Ripples, will it become part of Google Analytics? We don't know. Google has not told us definitively, but as of now, you can use it to isolate people, find out the content, what type of content and when it's getting shared, and you can change your the way you're using Google Plus to more and more effective. It's a way to fine-tune what you're sharing. Here's a case study. I put the bit.ly link down below, so it's very simple for you. And this is a case study that I did because there really aren't very many yet. They're just hypothetical, or they're just commenting on something that Google did, and it's very subjective. So I said, you know what, I need, since a lot of my clients are on Facebook, a lot of my clients are moving to G+, I needed to find out how that Google Plus was going to affect mindshare. So here's what I did, and you can read the whole thing, and it's got snapshots of ripples and the whole thing in the case study, but I'll give you the overview. And that is that we know that Google Plus has kind of got a reputation for being more tech-oriented, more substance per se, and Facebook is more personal and so forth, right? That's all I'm going to say about that. But so what I decided is fair case study. I'm going to have to pick content that will be palatable for both audiences. So I can't make it too techy because then that would kind of skew the results on Facebook. I can't make it too personal because that may skew the results on Google+. So here's what I did. I found this photo and I liked it. And so I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this one example. I'm going to come up with a header for it. And I'm going to use the exact same thing, and I'm going to post it at the exact same time on Facebook and Google+. And then I'm going to monitor these two like crazy, and I'm going to comment, and I'm going to thank people, and I'm going to do the same thing as everyone interacts on it. Well, I did this for about 3 weeks. I gave it plenty of time to resonate, and here are the results. You can see they kind of speak for themselves. Oddly, I was very, very surprised that, for instance, let's take the one on the right first. You'll see that the Facebook post, which frankly, I thought this post would favor Facebook. But out of Facebook, and I have almost 5,000 friends on Facebook, a very large, powerful audience there. Out of Facebook, there were only 12 likes, 3 shares, and 9 comments. So a total of 24 actions. That's all that was activated from that one post. That was surprising. But if you look on the left, you see the Google Plus post completely blew up. I couldn't believe it. Just the comments alone were double what Facebook was. So when I did the math on this, there was a 96% much more engagement level on Google Plus on this particular post than on Facebook. That's pretty overwhelming. Now, I'm doing a number of other case studies now with trying other type of content, and I'll be reporting on those later. But that case study there you may find very interesting. So that's an overview of Google Plus for brand pages. There are a lot more things coming. I do recommend that you please go to the blog and subscribe. That's one of the things that I do, and when Google reports things and why they're doing them, I try to read them and apply them. It's not that I'm smart or anything. I just read a lot from what Google tells us and what they're telling us is coming. I also welcome you to circle me on Google+. I'd love to hear your thoughts and interact with you even more.
All right, Tim, thank you so much. Yeah, Google Plus is so new, but it's incredible how much there is with it already, opportunities for business. So thank you for sharing all of that in such a short time. We have plenty of time for questions, so I'm going to read off whatever questions we've gotten so far.
Great.
All right, so this one is from Marissa. Do you know when Hangouts will be available on iPad?
Hangouts are already available on the iPad.
Okay.
And how you do that is, good question. How you do that is when you go into your, since we only have the iPhone and iPad application for Google+, what you do is you just simply go into the Google+ application and you go into Messenger. And in Messenger, that's where you would create a new conversation. You type in who you want to hang out with, add that, start the conversation, and then up in the right-hand corner, what you'll see is you'll see the Hangout icon, and you can just hit the start the Hangout, and if they know that you're trying to hang out with them, you can just start hanging out. It's pretty simple.
Cool. All right, thank you. The next one, my boss has everything for Google set up on his personal Gmail address. People under his, or sorry, I'm trying to read this. He doesn't want to have two accounts. Is there a way to link them? So I guess he wants to have, you know, a business page, but not have it linked to his personal email address and not have everyone, you know, logging into Google Plus with his personal email.
Well, that one's a tricky one. You know, Google's pretty sensitive about security in a good way. So when it comes to our brand page, creating brand pages, you can do them off of a personal Gmail account. So for instance, in this case, your boss could use his Gmail account or somebody he trusts to go ahead and go in and create these brand pages. Now, once you've created those brand pages, you go into your settings and you manage who can manage that account. So you can invite, for those brand pages, multiple managers. Now, once you go back to the personal account, they simply log out. Now, those brand managers who have been invited for the brand pages are just going to see that one brand page. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's how we do it with, you know, with Vertical Measures.
Exactly.
We did set it up, you know, through Army, but we have multiple brand managers who are able to completely run it without being logged in through Army at all.
Right, and his account is safe.
Yes.
No one can get to his account, so it's very helpful that way.
Great. And then a question, how do I use Google Plus for a retail site?
Very, very good question. There are a number of ways that you can use Google Plus for retail. One of the best examples that I'll give you is Burberry's. They're of course clothing. One of the things that you'll notice in Burberry's page is under the About Them, they have quite a bit of their Pinterest page and a number of things that they're pulling in for the retail shopping experience. So I'd look at that, and also there's a couple of links on the Tim Moore page under About Me. Over on the right-hand side, there's a number of pages there: Google Plus for business, Google Plus for nonprofits, Google Plus for retail, and you can see those there, and that'll take you to a link that Google's already provided to kind of give you some more in-depth, step-by-step ways.
Okay, thank you. Next question, what are some ways for business pages to have people see their content and start adding the page into their circles?
Well, you've got to create something compelling. You know, it's kind of fun you know, I think a lot of us are so stuck in the or used to be stuck in the Facebook rut, right? Where we'd find us on Facebook like there's some kind of hide-and-go-seek contest, and we would just almost force people to go there and hit our like this page. And we've kind of got to get out of that funk. We've got to realize that people, we have to engage and create compelling content so that people are going to circle our page. We cannot go out and just start randomly circling untold people from our branch. They have to like us or plus us first. Mm-hmm. So before we can tag them or link to them or start engaging with them directly. So compelling content and realizing that everything is a brand that you put in your stream. Remember, no more status updates. Think about them as social, shareable media objects. They've got to be much, much richer than things that we just post randomly or on Facebook or schedule for Facebook. We've got to see it through a new set of eyes.
Right. All right. Last question. Well, I'm going to just address one question from Neil here. He just mentioned, is Google Plus set up for multiple administrators at this time? and we just sort of touched on that. But I think you said the original person that sets up the account can assign other managers, correct?
Yep. And also, I just found out yesterday that where Hangouts, which again are it's the nectar of pulling people into your personal page, personal profiles were able to be whitelisted by Google by invitation so that they could stream live to YouTube. That now is that's been approved and is starting to roll out to brand pages. So that's a pretty cool way for brands now to start make sure their YouTube page is set up and they're getting ready for that, because Hangouts to unlimited live audience is going to be huge for any brand.
Definitely. All right, and we have one final question from Chase. Do you think that Google Plus performed better in the case study because it has been less spammed out by companies, since it's more of in an infancy stage than Facebook?
I'd agree with that. I think that's fair. Obviously, the numbers are skewed a little bit, right? We've got 800 million, 800 plus on Facebook, and we've got close to 100 maybe on Google Plus, so it's 8 to 1. And I do think the people who have got on Google Plus and are on Google Plus are, I will say this, I think they are a much more savvy when it comes to using computers and the kind of information they're ready to digest than on Facebook. It seems like most Facebook users, when they first get on Google Plus, are a little disoriented. They're not sure what to do. There's a lot of great content. People are asking really kind of tough questions, and they're not used to that. So, but that's okay. As a brand, we have to, and as marketers, we have to realize that even though we may want to talk about those things on our brand pages, we have to realize we want to keep it kind of simple, Facebook-like, but still compelling content that people are going to share.
Right. Oh, well, thank you, Tim, so much for presenting this webinar today. Again, it will be available for replay on our website later today. I will get that posted as soon as possible and send the link out to everyone. If you have any further questions, please feel free to tweet us at Vertical Measure, at Tim Moore, or at Running For It is my personal Twitter, and I think we'd all love to speak with you again. So everyone have a great day, and we'll hopefully be on the webinar with you next month. All right, bye now.
Bye-bye. Have a great day, everybody.